let's get some Chelsea reaction from their manager. Here he is, Enzo Maresca.
What are your thoughts after that 1-0 defeat?
It's a shame. It's a shame. First of all, because we lost the game. And then because I think with the situation in this moment, the amount of injury that we have, I think we compete very well. We were not far from get something from the game. But as I said, unfortunately we lost. But now we have the international game. We can recover more players. Romeo Lavia back today, so it's important. And we can push for the final sprint.
You were still in the game, weren't you, right until the end, really? Was it an improved second half for you?
Yeah, I think the first 20 minutes we struggled a little bit off the ball and on the ball. And then after 20-25 minutes, I think we start to control the game. Second half, again, we were in the game until the end. But yeah, has been a shame. The good thing is that we are in the right path, right direction. Now we have players that they come back from injury and we can go for the final sprint.
Having said that, did you create enough?
I don't think between us and them there was big difference in terms of clear chances. I think we are more or less in the same situation. When you play without a proper nine, it's difficult. Pedro Neto is helping us a lot. But for sure we could create something more. But in any case, I think the game was there until the end, and then at the end we lost. From set pieces.
Describe to us Reece James' performance today. He played him in midfield. He got the ball, gave it nice and early. Is there enough creativity in there for you?
Yeah. I think Reece is doing well. Mo is doing well. Enzo is doing well for sure. When, as I said, you have in this moment we have three of our players out: Madueke, Jackson, and Cole Palmer. That they are the three that they score more goals. So it's normal that we are going to struggle a little bit, but overall I'm quite happy with the performance.
And what is the Cole Palmer situation? It was described as a muscle niggle picked up in training?
Yeah. The feeling is that he can be back for after the international break and within the next days.
Will that affect international football for him?
Yeah, for sure, because his injury didn't play today.
You're on the right path, you say. Below you, it's incredibly tight, isn't it? All the teams pushing.
Yeah, that's why I think from now on is how also we manage a little bit emotion in terms of if you win a game, you see yourself close to the target. If you don't win, you see yourself far from the target. But until the end, it will be like this. We have still 9 games to go, but now it's time to recover energy for the final part.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, they're still in fourth, as I say, a point ahead of Manchester City in fifth, which could well be enough for Champions League football. In mid-December, they were 2 points behind Liverpool. Now they're 21 off the league leaders. But he thinks, Glenn, they're on the right path, and he was quite pleased with the performance today.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I could agree with him. On what I've seen there today, as I just said, they never really got hold of the game for even 10 minutes, where they had a pattern of play. And you put Arsenal on the back foot and you think, oh, there's a goal coming here. I don't see the creation that he's talking about. There was no creative chances there for me anyway, what I've seen. Cucurella had one, didn't he, where Raya got lucky. But no, I mean, it's difficult. They come on television, I've been in those shoes. What's said in the dressing room sometimes is a bit sterner than what he's come out and said, protecting them a little bit there. But no, if he really genuinely thinks that's enough, then that's not going to be enough. They'll slip down that league, and that's the problem they've got, because there's a lot of teams chasing. It's going to be a real battle, isn't it, for that 4th and 5th spot?
Yeah, and him saying there wasn't much between them in certain situations. I think if Arsenal, when we go back again to the strikers and the chances and the conversion rate, if they were, with how poor the goalkeeper was, if they were had their shooting boots on, I should say, they could have won that game very comfortably, because I can't remember any period in the game, apart from the Cucurella chance, where Chelsea done something to make me feel like, well, we're in trouble here. We need to see this 10 minutes out. I didn't see it from their midfield. I didn't see it from their build-up. I didn't see anything. So maybe like the gaffer said, and the gaffer would know better than me, he said one thing in the dressing room and he's come out and said something else, simply because it is a young team. You don't want to come out and completely blast them. But at the same time, that seems to be, for them to be in 4th place, playing like this with their away record, I think it's a bit of a slight on the league at the minute.
They have 27 points left to play for. They've taken 2 from the last 21 away from home. As we sit here now, what percentage would you give for Champions League football?
I think they can still get in one of those two places, fourth or fifth, where they're sitting. They're in the pole position. They need Palmer back playing well. I suspect...
And Jackson Gaff, I think Jackson's a big one.
Well, what Jackson does is he stretches a team that gives Palmer that space in that area, in that arc, what I call. So that's a big, big plus if they get those two back. I mean, I'm not saying Jackson is a fantastic finisher, blah, 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 but he's got pace and he will get him searching behind. Personally, I think Neto's got to play. I think he's a great player, but he's got to play in the right position. And I think you get back to that. He's got enough players in midfield in that deeper area to play and mess around with. Of course he has, with James going in there as well. Yeah. There's loads of options
Romeo Lavia, do you remember him? Yes. He was back on the bench today.
Back today. And, so get those players back. They can certainly get that spot still. But they've got to get recharged again. They've got to get playing on the front foot with a bit of confidence in the pattern of play. I didn't see a pattern of play. Earlier in the season, I thought, they're back to their best again. They've got pace, they've got a good bit of steel about them, they've got some good youngsters that get tight. Away from home concerns me, how they're going to pick up enough. It's a very delicate one for me. It's 50-50. Someone, they could drop a little bit like a stone, or someone could just pip them and get there ahead of them if they have a run.
You say there was a spell there where the goalkeeper, he went long a few times. Remember when they were trying to press Arsenal in and tried to close them down, especially in the second half? I thought they should have went that way a lot earlier and put Arsenal under a lot more pressure to play out and try and win the ball higher. Because you've got Sancho, you've got Neto. They are quite skillful, tricky players. If they can win the ball closer to our goal, maybe they might get their chance that way, because I couldn't see any other way that they were going to do that through build-up.
If they weren't to finish in the top 5, which we think will be enough, or 4, would that be a bad season? Because Maresca said it's been their clear target since August to get back into the Champions League.
Yeah, I think for them it would be a poor season, in the sense that if that's their targets, if that's what they've said, then they would have underachieved. I would have probably put a little bit of Europa would do us, European football, an improvement out of the conference into Europa or Champions League would have been realistic for Chelsea this year. It's a stepping stone they've got to get. They're not going to go from there to there. They need little stepping stones to actually get there eventually. They've got a team that in 2 years' time we might be going, wow, what a team they've got here.
I was going to mention that. They have got the youngest average starting 11 in the whole Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. And then in the same area of the pitch as well. A lot of their youth is in defending. And away from home, you need that experience in the defensive way. You get found out a little bit, and when you come under the cosh, they weren't under the cosh tonight, but if they go into the Champions League or Europa and European, wow, that's
when the away. It's the away games what we're seeing with this team and this young team. It's their away team performances. I still believe that if they can get a couple of experienced players, a Thiago signing. And maybe someone in the midfield to help that midfield.
Do you think that's in their module where they want to go?
Well, the way
they're recruiting.
Well, it doesn't seem. Well, it doesn't seem like
the latest one from Sporting Lisbon is 17, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't seem like this particular. The guys who are in charge at the minute are thinking that way. But when you look at the Chelsea team, the record, the fact that they're getting injuries, they've got a young side. They need experience.
A couple of old heads.
They do need experience.
They number one priority, if you've got any success for any team, you need a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
There's not enough...
That's a real worry for you at the moment.
Yeah, there's not enough confidence in either goalkeeper. So they've got to put that right in the summer without a doubt. And then it goes from there. It just... Those young defenders, in the end, you get a bit uneasy. You can't trust the keeper. So there's a dislodgement there, and there's not that sort of feeling that you're a real unit. We're going to be hard to play against. We're going to be hard to score against. You don't see that at the moment.
Steve, just a quick on that, because with the defenders, it's the same with the forwards. If you're a midfielder and you're not scoring, and you've got a goalkeeper that you're petrified of shots, then the confidence in the whole team takes a knock.
That's a really good point. OK, that's the Chelsea side of the story. When we come back, stay with us.
I think it's fair to say last weekend there was a sense of frustration, but this weekend, is there more cause for optimism?
Yeah, it was, because we went to Old Trafford, we drew, and we are all very disappointed. And that's the standards that we set now. And today, I think we deserve to win the game. I think we're better than Chelsea. Really not concede anything apart from that strange save from David, and we should have done much more, especially with the amount of goals that we regained in the high press. But overall, very happy. It was a very important game.
Nothing has been mathematically decided. We talked about turning the screw before today's game. How important was that turn of the screw?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what you want to do. We play a top opponent. It's really a joy to analyse and how they play and how Enzo has coached them, the quality that they have. But yeah, we can face any opponent. We know that on the day, and the team play with an unbelievable attitude. I really like that. And yeah, we go to international break. We are on it.
After that international break, you have another opportunity to turn that screw I'm talking about. I want to ask you, you've been at the team like Manchester City, you've been out in front for a long time. Can the mindset start to create a few doubts in people's minds? If you turn the screw again, if you're in the Liverpool camp, can the mindset change?
The only thing we can do is win our matches, that's it. And that's what we are trying to do. Against Fulham after international break, we have another one. Try to win that one. If we do, we're going to be in a better position.
Mikel Merino gets your goal today. There's been a lot talked about your strikers, but you seem that you're finding a way. What is it that he shows you that tells you about the attitude of your team and the way he's adapted himself to that role?
Well, that is very strange. Obviously, we had 4 of our top players out for many, many months, and that's for any club. Normally, I went through the history of the Premier League when that happens, the results of those clubs, none of them in Europe. That's what happened. Our team, you know, they have an incredible resilience. They really want to do it. He's never played in that position before. His work ethic, how much he's trying to do, and on top of that, he's scoring goals.
How much of a nuisance is he in that striker position? Because, as you say, he's not a natural striker by trade, but he's making life difficult for people.
Very difficult, and he has other qualities. When he's set in the box, he's a really dangerous player. He can help us on that, on set pieces. When we have to attack at low block, when the opponents are really high press as well, his movement, he's intelligent to fix people, to bring people in the game. He's top, so really plays, because even physically, it's a very different game to play as a 9. The way he's adapted and his work rate, phenomenal.
Goal comes from a set piece today. You've made set pieces a speciality in the early part of the season, but lately the goals had dried up from them. So how big a positive was it to see a goal come from that? Very good. It would generate again belief that we can do it again. It was a good goal, and yeah, you want to be a threat from every phase of play, and if we have that weapon as well, even better. Just finally, you mentioned the international break. Bukayo Saka, after the break, you talk positively about him.
I'm in.
You're in. You're still here. That's the important thing. Has he got a chance?
Yeah, he's got a good chance, yeah.
Good on you. Well done.
He's pushing someone there. I don't know who's pushing.
Should be back on the line there, Gaff.
As a goalkeeper, Ian, I'm thankful that there's an in-swing and I've got no one round me.
Yeah.
So I'm coming away, I'm pulling away from them players. I don't want to get engaged in them. If you put 3 players around him and it's going to be an in-swing, as a goalkeeper, you're not happy. Where he's thinking, really, I'm standing there thinking, yeah, great, I've got no one here. I'll come and punch that. I'll do whatever I need to do. He actually saves it if he's in the right position.
It was strange simply because, like you say, like the gaffer says, if you haven't got the players around you, like you've got their player, then your player in front of him trying to mark, it's brilliant for you. And if you look where he is, he's got so much space here. But he's gone over there to push. You think to yourself, no, just come back here, because from where Moreno would have headed that, he probably would have caught it. Because it's such poor goalkeeping at this level. It's not good enough.
Also, Ian, no one does it. No one does it anymore. But you put a player on the back post, he clears it.
Yeah.
There's so many goals going in the back post, and you think, why don't you just put one player there? You're defending your goal against the goalkeeper, against the corner.
Might as well do it. You could do it. Look.
Yeah.
You got Neto, who could have picked up number 6. I know it's Gabriel, but if you've got somebody at the back, you should say, if you find yourself here, anyone, and the ball comes in down the back post, just as insurance. So from where you can see the player at the back there, whoever it was, there he is, number 4. Is that number 4? Number 6. Whoever number 6 there should have just backed off onto the back. Yeah, Levi Colwell.
Colwell should have
just go on the back post. That's natural as a defender. Once the ball's coming in, for you to just naturally go towards the goal so you can stop that from going in. A lot of mistakes there.
Yeah. Catalogue by the sounds of it, from Chelsea's point of view.
Yeah, they'll analyse that. I was watching, because I was watching the next corner, and then Cuckoo goes in a better position, still square on, not on the half turn, which he should have been, and it was a poor ball in, though, but he clears it. because he was in the right position in the front shield. No one gets across the front of you on that front shield, and if they're going to beat you, they've got to beat you over your head. So it's not a whipped-in ball. It's more sort of a floaty ball. Gives the keeper a chance, gives you a chance defensively. That's why you put a front shield in there. So he did the job a little bit better second half a couple of times, but it was really the delivery that was poor, rather than him actually being really switched on, looking at it at half time, someone showing him and saying, you've got to be on the half turn. You've got to see where runners are coming from. If you're square on looking at the taker, you don't know what's going on behind you. And, they've got to put that right. If you put an attacker back there, he's got to do the job.
Yeah.
He's got to become a defender for that corner.
Because like you said, and rightly says, which is a really good point, is even with the goal, if you look where Mikel Merino headed it from, he actually was bending down to head it. So it's not like we're talking about a ball that's coming. If you watch when he comes in, and Nkunku if he just goes to his left, he heads that back out for another corner or whatever it is. Because when you watch how low this ball is, by the time it comes into Merino, once they play it on, here we go. Right, look how low, he doesn't have to jump, look. He's actually bending down to get it. So it's an easy one to actually clear.
Just looking at that again, I think Merino looks to go on the back of Nkunku, and he sees Nkunku just backing off and then decides at the last second just nip in front. I think he saw a gap there, went for that gap, and then at the last minute he just nips in front.
Yeah.
And that's the timing of the ball delivering. Look, let's have a look from this angle. We'll see it. He's having those little 50-50 back.
Yeah,
look, he runs it. Look, he's going in behind,
bang.
then he goes in front because that space is
Great
there.
movement right
all
at the
of a
depth.
sudden,
Really good movement right at the depth there for him.
Yeah.
All because Nkunku's in the wrong position.
Yeah. But that's instinct that you were saying that perhaps until he was put up there, we didn't know that he had.
Well, the thing is, what we've seen is that he's a very intelligent player, because even when you do watch him, when he's linking up the plays, the way he holds it up, by the time it does get to him, I watched it again when they play PSV, by the time he gets it, he's so composed and knows where he's passing it. That's exactly what Arsenal need in respect of keeping the ball up in that third, is something that we don't do well, because we haven't got a focal point. And he's the one, Kai Havertz isn't that player neither, where he links the play like Al Merino can do it. But Merino can do it in a way where you can get there, because he will hold it and you can come and join him. And then all of a sudden, we're playing a bit further up.
And the other players will play to that strength when he's up there, because it's pointless, like you said earlier, trying to play balls in the channels and all that. He's not that type of player.
He's not going to be going off the back. It doesn't suit Odegaard, who wants to play that little ball, but it might suit other players that know that he looks like he can protect the ball. And when there's a midfield player, if you had a striker that was always going to protect it, you could make runs, and you don't think, is he going to give that? I won't make a run, because if I go and he loses the ball or it comes off him, they're breaking, and now I'm wasting my energy. I've got to track him back. Ball into the front man, he's holding it up. You think, now I can actually support that play, and it goes to the next level then, and you're on the front foot. So that's important and that's what happens when the new player comes. You have to find that out. They didn't know that. Arteta's thrown him in up front, but actually the players are going, he can play up there. We can make runs off him.
And I know what you mean. 1-0's never comfortable, but today was a day where you never really felt Chelsea were going to trouble Arsenal.
You did. You just feel like you could see, like I mentioned at the start, where Cole Palmer's not playing, where he would frighten me, just like Bruno Fernandes frightens you, because they can do something in the game now. Again, you're looking at a Chelsea side without Cole Palmer, they look very tepid, especially without Jackson, without Madueke, and then even if they had a Neto as well, them three up front with that pace, with Cole Palmer behind them, it's a whole different scenario for Arsenal. And a scenario I'm really pleased we didn't have to come up with today. But again, you look at the way we were finishing as well. We should have done more to make it comfortable for ourselves. But Chelsea, they're not a million miles away. I think they need some experience in their team to help that young side. But then you do need something that's going to make sure that Cole Palmer can be able to express himself in the players that he's got around him.
They just looked a bit sort of rudderless. They had no rudder to their game. They had no guidance. They had no feel. You never saw them sort of having a spell in the game where they had a pattern of play, and suddenly they took the ball away from Arsenal, Arsenal on the back. No, that never happened once, really. With the lack of experience, particularly in the back positions, you'd have thought Fernandes and Caicedo, those type of players, they've got to get get hold of the ball and take the game by we're under the cosh here a little bit. We're not playing well, 1-0. Let's keep the ball. Let's get back in the rhythm of the game a different way. We haven't got Palmer. We haven't got the players that we want up front. They're out, so we've got to slightly play different, and that never really materialised.
I was a bit confused with their midfield because I didn't know, because Reece James was in there a lot. So he's probably the 6. So next to Caicedo, or is he the 6? And then Enzo Fernandez. So I didn't know how they were going to. Yeah, I didn't know how they were going to try and progress the ball because they haven't got the pace up front. They haven't got the players to play it through the midfield. So it was just going to be a matter of time. And if Arsenal were more ruthless, we could have shown them up for what they were today, because they were poor today, Chelsea.
Okay.